Good morning, Niagara. You're tuned to Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here, it's not just about fixing cars. It's about keeping you rolling, saving you money, giving you the confidence to understand what's under the hood, from the classics to the commuters, the weird noises to the what the heck moments. We've got you covered. So grab your coffee, double check your order before you leave the takeout window. That's right, because you can't reverse in the takeout lane. Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know how I know that. But anyway, sit back, get that favorite morning beverage locked down in your cup holder, hand the crayons over to and the leaf bag over to your co-pilot if you have one. You're going to want to take some notes this morning. Yeah, we've got a really hot topic today, and you can join the crew. Keep an eye on the road and the other guy, the one that drives like an absolute idiot. That's right. They're out there by the dozens. Join the crew this morning because this is Car Connection, your Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, and a few good laughs. So, hey, remember, if your beverage is hot and I make you laugh, it's cold. It's cooled off by the time it, lands. Probably not. Hot beverages are just that. So keep that in mind. So a few good laughs. I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins, and we're going to shift this morning drive into gear right here in the workshop. Tons of stuff on the go. Here's what we got for you today. You ready? Used car buyers. 7 maintenance red flags to check before you buy. That's right. We got it right here for you. So that's the topic this morning. So get your co-pilot tuned up, get that leaf bag ready to unfold, and take down some information. You can always reconnect with the podcasts on our channel at iHeart, and I'll give you all the information for that so you can connect with us. We also have our podcasts archived on our website, and our website is the biggest drawer in our toolbox for you folks to connect with us. We've got every tool you need to connect with us on our homepage of our website at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. And I know you're saying that's a lot of stinking typing. CCBUS as in Sam, net.com. I'll put all that information in the description of every podcast, every YouTube video, and we always teach 5 things. Our YouTube videos have 5 rules we always teach you. What it is, that's the part. Where it is, how it works, how it breaks, and what could you have learned in the fundamentals and basics of vehicle ownership that could have saved you the heartache and the broken wallet all at the same time. So our videos aren't about building monster trucks, classics, custom rods. We do get into some of that, but mainly the videos are strictly for you to see different fundamental and basic systems on any automobile, whether it's an old one or a new one. It doesn't matter. The basics never change. So we teach you all 5 things in every single video, and all those videos are available to you on our Niall Motormouth Jenkins YouTube channel. So here's the tools. The toolbox is carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, ccbusnet.com. On the home page, you will see all the logos. Those are, I like to call them, those are the drawers. Click and open one. And there you'll find all the contacting information for our program partners and recommended businesses that have all received my seal of approval. Most of these companies, I have known them for a very long time, and we are blessed to have them with us as a support team. And we need to continue to build our support team so that we can support the widows, the orphans, the seniors, single moms, single people trying to make it on their own, or a family, feeding 3 kids, 2 adults, trying to keep the lights and the water and the heat going and food on the table. We're trying to do our best, but we have to buy parts. And our whole goal and vision of everything that has tie-ins to Car Connection is that we're able to purchase the parts and provide the labor for free and shoot some videos and get people mobile. Keep people mobile. We can't do everybody, but you know what? We can do some and make a difference. So our merchandise store is a very integral portion of what we do. You buy something on there, you wear it, and be part of the Motormouth crew, and proceeds go to help those who are struggling with addictions through opportunity to get to the help that they need. At Total Freedom Darien Center, New York, there's for Canadian and U.S. residents, men and women. Total Freedom Cindy, Manitoba, that's a men-only campus. A new life awaits you. So if you or someone you know is struggling with an addiction, that's why we have the merchandise store, which was put together by Freedom Expressions. They have a number of businesses they run on the campus so they can help people to get into the campus to get the help that they need. So we're all working together. So on our homepage, top right-hand corner, and this is in the description of every one of our YouTube videos, as well as here on iHeart and all the podcast platforms that wherever you pull your podcast from, type Car Connection Workshop in the search box and you'll find us. We're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and the like. You'll find us there. So top right-hand corner, everything's there. It's a click away. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. Click on the businesses tab. We have a beautiful profile page there that is maintained for us. It's just absolutely fabulous. We have our iHeart icon now on the homepage top right, and our merchandise store, which we have 6 more items, including an original Car Connection coffee mug. So you're going to want to get one of those. They're a limited time offer, and they're available to you. All merchandise is being sold at $5 above cost. So you know what? Get your hands on it now before it gets so popular. We're going to have to put it up. You order online, safely pay online, and whatever item you pick, size, color, whatever it is, gets shipped directly to you. All right, let's just start off with a quick thank you to our program sponsors, because without them, unless people are throwing cash at us, we need someone to help us grow, and that's where you come in as well. So stay tuned for that, how you can help us. Crystal Ridge Dream Center, serving men, women, and children meals, love, and hope, changing lives one at a time. In times when community sport is crucial, Crystal Ridge Dream Center shine as a beacon of compassion and transformation. Please consider making them part of your monthly donating. $25 or more gets you a tax receipt. They are a non-profit, faith-based organization changing lives of men and women all throughout the Niagara region. City Auto Sales and Leasing with Earl and Louise Grant. Sales, leasing, and in-house financing available. Low mileage, top quality vehicles at fair prices. They have earned the right to be called the Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store for over 25 years. Earl and Louise Grant sell no junk. And I can tell you that. The vehicles are well picked and they are beautiful. If they don't have what you're looking for in their inventory, let them know, because they have 25 years of resources that they can do all the legwork and find that specific vehicle for you that's in top drawer condition. So check out City Auto Sales and Leasing. You or someone you know looking to buy a vehicle in the next little while, or you just wrote yours off in an accident, get out there. It's worth a drive when you can buy with confidence and be treated with nothing but honesty and integrity. That's City Auto Sales and Leasing. Thank you to our certified financial planning professionals helping us navigate through, most of the time, financial uncharted waters. How's your plan working? Probably not very good if you got issues. You need answers, and you need answers fast. That's what they can provide for you. An hour and a coffee discovery meeting, no sales gimmicks, no tactics, no nothing, no condemnation. Just a sit and let's learn each other and find out what your needs are and give you the answers you're looking for. If you're taking advice from those who are not standing with their feet where you want to be, you're already failing the plan. As human beings, it's not that we plan to fail, it's that we always seem to fail to plan. Tony Miele and Larry Tetro have 50 years combined experience with IG Wealth Management. They're fiduciaries. That means they play with money and they know how to get that money working hard for you. So whether you have $1 or $1 million, it doesn't matter. Because you know me and you're connected with Car Connection, you get that hour and a coffee, a complimentary 1-hour discovery meeting by phone, by Zoom, in person, whatever you're comfortable with. You can connect with Tony Miele or Larry Tetro. You choose. They're both my brothers from other mothers, and they have been my financial planners for decades. I've known these guys for 2 decades plus. So they go through portfolios. If you have investments with the bank, you've got to get them out of there because you're not making any money. You're making pocket change. And they can turn that around for you very quickly. If I could introduce you to some of my friends that have navigated their way to Tony and Larry and had investments with the bank, you will get a full understanding how you're being ripped off big time. They deal with debt retirement, estate planning, wills and powers of attorney, mortgages. I've had a mortgage with IG Wealth for about almost 20 years. I would not think about going anywhere else. Amazing mortgage rates and wonderful people to deal with all the time. Life insurance, critical illness insurance, the whole package. You need to learn the 6 pillars to a financial plan, and then you'll have financial peace in your life. Thank you to the Grimo family at Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, building Canada since 1931. Building and hardscape landscaping materials that can help you create that addition on your home or help you to create that backyard oasis that you've always wanted to have. So check in with them. Customer service like you've never experienced before. Been around since 1931. I think they've met a few people. Make sure that you get a good landscaper as well, and they can help you with that with a referral at Niagara Block, building Canada since 1931. All right, let's get right into it this morning. We want to always make sure we say thank you to those who help us out and keep the car rolling here in the Car Connection Workshop. I do have a Motor Mouth tech tip for you this morning. I didn't forget. No, I did not. It's not true. Who said that? Yeah, it's not true. Well, this one kind of ties in with the podcast that I did on Friday. And that one was entitled, let me see here. What really happens if you skip oil changes? Yeah. You don't want to go there. Well, folks, your car is not a vampire. It doesn't like old, dirty oil, even if it's synthetic and smells like robot tears. Read your owner's manual or ask your technician, automotive technician. Ignoring oil changes can lead to what we in the biz call catastrophic wallet leakage. So if you haven't tuned in to that podcast on skipping oil changes, you might want to get on that. I give you a lot of nuggets. Well, today, something that generally happens at the beginning of a new year, and we're only days away. How's your Christmas shopping going? Yeah, mine too. Sucks with a double K and a big T at the end. Sucked. Yeah. Yeah, I prefer getting started on the 24th. It seems to be a habit. I don't know. We just keep moving, right? Keep moving. Well, today we're going to be talking about used car buyers. At some point, if you're like me, I always buy pre-owned. I have never bought one brand new car ever. I've owned a lot of vehicles. I've flipped a lot of vehicles, and when we had the shop, I used to buy $500 beauties where a family might say, you know what, we just don't want to fix it anymore. It's time to get another one. Would you like to have it? Can we leave it here? Generally, they'd say, can we just leave that here? Here's the keys, here's the ownership. Oh, I thought you were just leaving it here. Indefinitely. Okay. I'll do something with it. And that's what started. I would assess them, take it apart, inside and out. I'd take all the seats out, pull the carpet up, check the floor, vacuum it, clean it inside, do all the mechanicals, and I'd make it available to my customers for a son or a daughter or a second vehicle. And most of the time, the customer would come back and go, "Is that you're kidding me?" I go, "Yeah, I fixed it up." "Oh my gosh, it looks amazing." I go, "Yeah, you want to buy it back?" And I usually sell them for, $1,500. Sometimes I buy one for $500 and I call them my $500 beauties. As long as they weren't rotted out and you can climb in from the outside without opening the doors, that's a parts car. And we would sometimes harvest stuff and just make sure everything works and then tag and bag it and put it in the used parts department in the mezzanine. That way, if we came across a customer on hard times, needs an alternator or a starter or something that we have, a wiper motor, blower motor, and they got little money, I just give them the part. Just pay me for the labor. So we had a really good thing going there. And I'd like to get the same thing going here at the Car Connection Workshop, is to be able to do that. And then shoot the video, give us permission, shoot the video, and share it with everyone else out there. So today, we're going to talk about used car buyers. Some of the red flags. And if time permits, I'll give you more than 7. But I will definitely give you 7 pointers for sure. That's guaranteed for sure. 7 being the number of perfection. All right, first and foremost, is the vehicle certified? That means you like it, possibly, maybe, kinda. You have to have it looked over. Now, if you're not confident in looking it over yourself, or you can't get a service tech to go with you, a buddy, somebody you know that is an automotive service tech, so that they can look around it quickly and go, give you the nod, the wink. That was usually the signal. I'd say, somebody would hire me out. And people used to hire me out, and when I had time, I'd go do that. Look, they pick a few vehicles out, pick me up, and I go with them. They take care of, making sure I'm beveraged and fooded all day, and then we go looking. And if I'm looking at a vehicle and I'm thinking this one here's a goodie, I look at them and wink, and that was the signal. This is a good one. I would consider buying it. Try and make a deal. That's what that wink meant. And so we'd move on from there. But the first thing you should ask, you're buying a vehicle pre-owned privately. This isn't you could use some of these from the car lot if you're buying from a car lot as well. Is the car certified? Buying an uncertified car or truck or minivan is wrapped up with a bow saying danger, danger. Yeah, usually the seller will say something like, well, I think it needs some brake pads or possibly a tire. Lying, red flag. They know what it needs, and they're not willing to put the money out to fix it. So if you're really interested, you're going to need to know what you don't know, and that is the truth about every single thing that needs to be taken care of. Remember the 5 things: what it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks, and confirmation, right? Confirmation of the repair. We want to know that. And so if you don't know what's waiting for you, you could end up overpaying, and then the cost of repairs, all of a sudden the vehicle, I'm going to use $10,000 as an example. So they're asking 10, you chisel them down to 95, and then you find out afterwards it needs $4,800 worth of repairs. And I just read a work order the other day, a genuine work order that happened within the last 90 days to a lady, someone I know, just shy of $4,000. So you can get there very quickly when the shop rate is $130 an hour. And I'm not being disrespectful there, because the cost of equipment today and overhead and everything, you can't run a shop at $60 an hour like we used to, or $65, which was our shop rate on the Hamilton Mountain. And we weren't the most expensive. We weren't the cheapest. But you know what? My Snap-on bill every month to pay for the equipment we had was $1,000 just for the tool truck. Yeah, we used to call it the cash trucks coming. Cash trucks here. Then we knew we had to go out and make a payment. Yeah, $1,000 minimum for I can't even tell you how long for the equipment that we had that we were able to get and make payments. That you're not adding in anything else. That's just that for tools and equipment. So you want to make sure that you know exactly what that vehicle needs. So I'm going to move on, and then I'm going to come back to that first little nugget, the 7 red flags. We're going to come back to red flag number 1. Going to circle back towards the end. Secondly, we don't do emissions tests anymore, so that's out of the way. We don't even need to think about that. So that brings us to number 2. How long have you owned the car? And this is where I listen. When I ask a question to the person that owns it, and you may be talking to someone who's working in between, like the husband. It may be the wife's car, and the husband is the one representing her and selling it. And I've been there, and if time permits, I'll share a little story. Yeah, because I was working with not one liar, but 2. But I was also working the price of the car because the car was worthy of rescuing if the number was right, because I knew what repairs I was looking at. And it was aesthetics. And that gets expensive real fast. So this question, which is, how long have you owned the car? It assists you in determining if the seller is a curbsider. And what that means is, I'll put it in layman's terms, a flipper. Just like house flippers, right? There's car flippers. And we call them curbsiders. Because they'll buy something, they'll doctor it up. It's like a lipstick on a pig. So you really got to be careful. Because if they're a curbsider, they're looking to make some quick money, get the sheet metal rubber down the road, and then once it's out of their hands, it's your baby because there's no comeback. In Canada, there's no comeback for that. There's no lemon law for curbsiders. But curbsiders are not really, they're frowned upon by dealerships, used and new. So this question helps to assist you in a big, big way. Because that way, you'll know if they're an unlicensed professional who wants you to think this is a private sale. So I like to get that out of the way right up front. Because if I'm dealing with a curbsider, I know they bought a piece of junk, they put some lipstick on it, and a little spit and polish, and they're just looking to flip it, put some money in their pocket, and you're going to get beat. You're going to get beat up real bad. So that's number 2. Number 3, this is where you ask this question and then 2 words you say in your head. Shut up. Why are you selling it? And here's where they'll give themselves away. So when you ask that and then shut up in your head, say nothing, listen with specific intent, the more they talk, the more they're lying. You got it? If they have a huge backstory to tell, walk it. There's more to the story. Yeah, you should. At that point, I say in my head, I'm smelling what they're selling. Got it? So if there's a huge story about it, just keep listening and let them finish. And then you say, thank you for your time. I appreciate that. And get the heck out of there because there's more to it than they're really telling you. But a long story, you're dealing with Pinocchio there. Yeah, watch out. You might lose an eye. Next. Now remember, this is 7 red flags. You're purchasing This is a private sale technique. Do you have a used vehicle information package? Short form is UVIP from the Ministry of Transportation that shows previous owners and liens. And I'll tell you this right now, many of the sellers don't want to spit out the $20 or so to buy the package that's mandatory when you change the ownership into your name. So somebody has to dump a 20 spot to buy the seller's package. If they won't provide the seller's package, to me, that's a red flag. I will look them right in the eye and say, I'm seriously interested, but I want to see the seller's package. And if they refuse to go and get, hey, if they say, you know what, come back tomorrow, or, I'll send somebody to go get it right now. They should be prepared to sell the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? This is how you can nail a curbsider with this question. Oh, you have the UVIP. Pardon? If they say pardon, they don't even know what you're talking about. Red flag. Get the heck out of Dodge. Yeah, if they don't have the seller's package, or they don't want to provide the seller's package, guess what I do? It had better be the sweetest deal on the face of the planet and the only car on the face of the planet, or I'm walking. Because you know what? Something smells. Again, I'm smelling what they're selling. Because the used vehicle information package is going to give you, are there any liens on it? You don't want to be buying something like that where there's still money owing on it, or somebody's got a lien registered. Could be a service tech, a shop they never paid the bill, and they put a mechanic's lien on it. And guess what? That bill has to be paid before you can take over that car. And that's a sucks to be you program. Don't go there. Don't sign up for that class, let me tell you. So never, ever hand over any money until you see that document, because that's going to give you a lot of information. Is it a repaired wreck is going to be on there? Are there any liens? How many owners has it had? Oh, it's one owner, or they'll say I'm one owner. Well, if you don't have the green sheets, you don't know for sure till you buy the green sheets and go, this thing's changed hands 6 times. Yeah, it'll show you where it originally was purchased, who had it, where it went next, and who the current owner is. Exactly. So if you're standing in front of Fred Smith and it belongs to John Thomas, guess what? You got a curbsider. That's a red flag. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Get the heck out of Dodge. Next up, where are we at? We're 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I'm going to give you some extra today. We got a few more minutes. And this is, if I can say anything, slow down this stinking process, folks. You're not going through the drive-thru ordering a Lottie. No, you're not. This is big money. I don't care if it's $3,000. To me, you know what? Over $1.99, that's big money. That's why I don't go in the dollar store. It's big. You got to have deep pockets going there now. You know what? Could you find 3 items in less than a minute under $1? I don't know. Do you owe any money on the car? Ding, ding, ding. I've seen this happen. Oh, no, it's all paid off, but you don't have the green sheets to prove there's a lien or there isn't a lien. So if you take his word for it, his or her word, you're really hanging your butt out there in the wind. And it's going to be glowing red when this deal goes south. So again, it comes back to the UVIP. Used Vehicle Information Package. That's going to give you a lot of answers to your questions. And, you ready for this? It's also going to show you mileage. Because here's a big problem. Vehicles with high mileage getting the odometers rolled back. So the UVIP is going to show you mileage. So you can figure out very quickly if somebody's rolled back or changed the dash, the odometer, and rolled back hundreds and thousands of mileage, said, look, it's only got 60,000 K on it. It could have 360,000 K. Okay, next. You don't want to get bit by that one because that's huge. That's very, very huge. I'll just give you a little backstory. I pulled an article out. One seller we spoke to owned more money on the car than he was asking for it. So if you want to purchase an auto that has a lien on it, you must make the check payable to the lending institution or take it there yourself with the seller beside you. Also ensure that you get a letter from the lending institution that outlines that they no longer have a financial interest in the vehicle. I pulled that from some banking notes. That's from the bank itself. So you don't want to go there. That can be opening a big can of you-know-what, horse pucky. Next, have you had any repairs costing you $100 done on the car since you owned it? Because once a vehicle reaches 100K, pretty much it's going to require tires, maybe an alternator, a battery, a radiator, brakes, emergency brake cables, tie rod ends, sway bar bushings, ball joints, inner tie rod ends, sway bar links, and the list goes on and on and on. 100K. We really need to take a look at this vehicle at that point. Next, is the car presently licensed and insured so you can take it for a test drive? If they're refusing a test drive, even with them in the vehicle, that's a huge red flag right there. If there's no license plates on it, then that's another red flag. So, do you see a trend here? Buying a vehicle privately can be a hairy, scary moment. Because once you throw the money down and you own it, it's your problem. So if there's problems with the registration, problems with a lien, problems with the vehicle's tagged salvage, do you know how to look for that? It's right on the ownership. On the top, the ownership, on the side where all the owner's information is and all the vehicle information, it will either say pass, fit, P-A-S, fit, or it will say salvage. If it says salvage, red flag, get out of there. That means it's been written off by insurance at some point for a wreckage, and somebody has bought it at an auction or private sale, and they've done a toodaloo on it, put some lipstick on it, and you still got a pig with lipstick. Yeah, it's a skunk in a mink coat. Don't go there. Do not sign up for that class. So has the car been in an accident? People say, well, you can get a print off. They're not worth the freaking paper that's printed on. Do you want me to tell you why? There's one huge hole in the atmosphere on that. You get a printout on the vehicle, you pay for that. You're only going to see anything that's happened to that vehicle damage-wise that's been reported. So, like my neighbor a couple years ago, he had one major wreck with a very expensive car, and it got written off. And then he had a wreck with his other car, his daily driver, and he paid for that out of pocket. So it did not go through his insurance. It was a big number too. Like it was just slightly under 10 grand. He paid for it out of his pocket. Now that won't be on an inspection report. It won't be there. So if the person's honest enough, they've reported the collision work and put it through their insurance. But if they don't want their premiums to go through the ceiling, they're going to find a way through, a line of credits, credit card, or something, some other means of getting it fixed and paying for it cash and not reporting it to the insurance. So that won't help you. You're only going to see what has been reported. So we have to keep that in mind. It doesn't tell you everything about the vehicle. And the owner's not, if he's hidden that from the insurance, he's going to hide it from you too. Does the air conditioning blow ice cold? Yeah. Take a thermometer. You know what I take? My meatometer. My meatometer. Because I don't want him to know that I'm a licensed service tech, so I'm not taking any high-tech equipment. I just take my meatometer. I put it in the dash closest to the glove box and run the car, put the AC on low fan, max AC, and take a reading. If the air conditioning doesn't even come on, then you know it's done. So a cheap repair on air conditioning would be $500, but dream on, that's not going to happen. It's more likely going to be on the upper part of $1,000 to $2,000 to get that air conditioning running, depending on, number one, how long has the air conditioning not been working. The longer it's not been working, the more money it's going to cost to get it back up and running. And if you ask, oh, well, the air conditioning's not running. Well, it was working last year. Probably not, is the answer to that. Probably not. Yeah. Oh, it just stopped working. Liar. Probably not. No, they know what's wrong with it, and they decided, we're not going to fix it. So if air conditioning is top drawer for you, that's a major deal breaker. That's a red flag. Get out of there. Done. Because you're going to figure $2,000 in case it's a whopper to get the air conditioning back up and running. I mean, I really gotta love everything else about the vehicle, that everything else is top drawer. The AC's not working. I am an HVAC tech in automotive, so it's not a super big deal for me to do the work and get it back up and running with my AC equipment. But for you, it's cha-ching. That's going to cost you an arm and leg and probably more, and then some, and a bag of chips. So never be afraid to ask that, because you can end up in a big hole so fast if the air conditioning's not running. I think I may wrap it up with this one. Here's the question. Again, here's where you have to, this is negotiating. This is the negotiating part, to me, is the quickest and easiest once I've looked it over and I'm going, yep, this is a good buy, but I'd like it in my mind at this price. This is my number. So when you decide this is my number, and if you can't get them there, then you have to be able to say, I'm walking. You have to be able to say that, okay? Because that's normally where, you know what, you're going to buy on emotion, and it's going to be a sucks to be you program when that car's in your driveway and you realize you got a ton of repairs to do. So if I look a vehicle over and I'm going, okay, the air conditioning's not working, I can deal with that. The rest looks good. The interior's clean, decently clean. It needs a clean up in aisle 3 to make it look top drawer, and, some buffing out and a little more mechanical. So I need to put my TLC on it, and I'm happy, but not at that number, knowing that I still got to buy parts. My labor is my own, right? I could get into $1,000 worth of parts. So in my mind, if they're asking 10, I'm thinking my number has to be 9 on this maximum. I may try them at 85. And my top drawer is 9. So guess what? If he says no or comes back and says, will you give me 9? Done. Then we're done. It's a deal done. But you have to know your number. When you're looking at, you know what they're asking. In your mind, as you go around the vehicle and you're checking it out, start just like house buying. Well, it needs carpet. It needs a carpet removing. It needs floors in the kitchen. Well, it needs this. It needs that. It needs paint work throughout. You start adding that up. The roof is 15 years old. It's probably just about done. So, there's $11,000 or more. So you start subtracting that from what they're asking, so you have some room to get that stuff done if it's a house that you really want. Well, consider the car a house when you're buying it. consider it a house, except it's going to depreciate, like a lead balloon in the lake. So here's the question, and I'm going to finish with this one, because this is the coup de grace, the grand formaggio of the whole transaction. So they're asking 10. The air's down, could be $2,000. I'd be happy if I got it for 8. So that's your number, but you'd be willing to go like 8,500. Okay? Or you might say, you know what, I'd go 9, but then that gives me, I got $1,000 off. Put that towards air conditioning. You ready? Are you flexible on the price? Then you say to yourself in your head, shut up. And I don't mean to be rude about it, but you need to, because you need to zip it. And zip it good. Exactly. Zip it. Because here's the deal. And I learned this from one of my best friends, been in the car business for a long time. They own 22 dealerships. Guess that, I got it right from the horse's mouth. Are you flexible on the price? Shut up, because the next one who speaks will lose the deal. That's how that works. So that you know, the next one that speaks loses the deal. You shut up and you wait. And don't say a word. Just walk around the car. You don't have to stand there giving them the stink eye. Well, what's it going to be? No, just, casually, hands in your pockets. Just walk around the car, look at it, look at the grill. Open the door. And he might right away say, well, what are you thinking? Then tell him what you're thinking. Yeah, because I did this. This happened with a friend of mine. We were out in Toronto buying a car hauler, and I should have done the negotiating because he overpaid by about $11,000. Because the guy looked at him across the table and said, well, what are you thinking? And he highballed it instead of lowballed it. And I'm going, this guy has just opened the freaking gate and let all the cows out. Hallelujah. I'm jumping in. And I would have said $3,500 because it needed a pile of work. I went there to be the tech looking the trailer over. This thing's a monster. It's a behemoth. But it needed a roof. And it needed tires. It needed 6 tires. So you're into some big money already. And he offers them way too much. So in the vehicle after leaving, says, what do you think? What do you think now? And I go, you way overpaid, dude. Way overpaid. Well, I didn't want to hurt the guy's feelings. I go, it's a business transaction. Friendship is friendship. Business is business. So if you're buying a pre-owned car off of a friend, that's a bad thing. If you want the friendship to go south, I did it, and I lost a really good friendship over it. It sucked. It was not good. So I looked down and I go, yeah, you way overpaid. Well, I didn't want to, hurt his feelings. I go, it's a business transaction. He said, what do you think? What would you? I said the key words and my ears went up like 6-foot satellite dishes. What would you like to pay for it? And I'm looking at him and I'm waiting. I'm going, it's not my deal. I came, I saw, I looked it over. I wrote the list. I said what I said. Here's where you're at. If you're happy with it, you buy it. Me, it needs a lot of work. I'm going to pass. It's not the only one on the face of the planet. But he paid $11,000, way too much. I would have paid $3,500 for that trailer. I'll tell you what, I would have taken it home. Yep, because it needed a lot of work. And a group of us all pitched in and worked on this thing in shifts to get it up and running. And it was way too much. So know your number. And that's it. Your number is your number. So if 9 is your budget and you're looking at a vehicle that's 10 and you see some stuff that needs to be fixed, you got to subtract from their number to come up with your number. But if the vehicle looks sweet, the structural integrity, the interior and the exterior is really, really good. And most of the mechanicals are good, except I'm using the air conditioning as a red flag and going, that could cost me $2,000. Know your number. If when you say, are you flexible on the price? And then you shut up and you wait for the answer and meander around and let them think about it. Sometimes they'll go, what are you thinking? Or what would you like to pay? Tell them what you'd like to pay. You lowball your number. If your lowest number is 8, you'd like to get it for 8, then you say 8. But you know you'd go as high as 9, then you know you're still in the game. Then you say, I'd like to pay 8. And then you say the words in your head, shut up, and wait for their answer. Don't say a word, because next person who speaks loses the deal. That's how this works. I had a really good teacher, my friend Mike, very good teacher. And wait to see what they come back with. If they go, would you go 8,500? Boom, yes, cha-ching. Celebrate. You did all right. Now, the rollout on this is one last tip. If you can't take somebody with you to look that vehicle over, but you look it over and you're interested, that's where you say, I'd like to take it to my personal mechanic and have them look it over for me. I'm very serious about buying it. I'm not tire kicking. I'm very serious, but I would like my auto mechanic to look it over. You say, would you drive it there with me or drop it off so he can look it over? And you pay the technician his time, because here's the deal. If you do that and your tech discovers, writes the list and it's going to cost a fortune to fix the thing based on what they're asking, you can either make them another offer and see what they come back with, but again, stick with your number. If you see it's going to need $3,800 worth of work, then that money's got to come from somewhere, but you don't want to add that to the price of the vehicle, so you're overpaying. Got it? This is where it's important. This is a good big purchase, and you gotta treat it as such. It's no feelings, no touchy-feely in the transaction. You got to be nice and respectful, but no touchy-feely. All right? Keep your heart out of it. Well, I really love the color. No, keep your heart out of it. Well, I might not find another one. It's not the only car on the face of the planet. Trust me. This I know. So that's where, if it turns out to be a skunk and a mink coat and you got to dump $160 to have your tech look it over, isn't it better that you walk it and that you knew before you owned it? $160 was money well spent to not be stuck with somebody else's junk and problems in your driveway. So I hope you got something out of this. I hope you got a good takeaway and that your co-pilot has taken a bunch of notes, because this is a big one. Buying a used car privately. I gave you more than 7 maintenance red flags to check before you buy. And if you run the course, you'll come out the other side a winner. You really, really will. So until next time, visit us on our website anytime, ccbusnet.com. All the links for you on the homepage, top right-hand corner, to connect with us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca, iHeartRadio, and any platform you're pulling your podcast from. And our merch store is there. Buy some merch and help us to help someone get that new life that's struggling with addictions. Would you be a part of that? And we thank you very, very much for doing so. So till next time, happy motoring. Keep it under 100. Put the coffee on, because we're going to come to your house.